Hey guys, back again. So here is where we left off with our sketches and color palette for our pattern collection. All right, so we're designing 3 coordinating patterns using a common theme and a common color palette. Right now I'm in fresh paint, but again you can do this on paper with any art materials you have at home, and you can also do it in Paint 3D. And I'm going to show you some options for doing it in Paint 3D as well after I go through fresh paint. So here I'm doing it in fresh paint. I love fresh paint because it's so naturalistic. You know, it looks more like a real painting or drawing than Paint 3D, which is why I like it, but you can choose whichever you like. So one of the downsides to fresh paint is that you don't have a fill tool, right? So if you want to do a background that's all one color, it's best to do it first. So let's say I'm going to now, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So now I am going to refine my sketches to be final drawings. So I'm going to start with my simplest one. Right. I'm going to use my fan to dry all that paint so I don't smear it. And now I'm going to more carefully draw a nice rectangle and fill it in. And of course you can do this in a new file if that's easier, or you can do it right over your sketches the way I am. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a background. And you don't have to do this if you have a white background, of course. But if you want a color in the background, I highly recommend doing it first. So you don't have to paint around everything. And now I'm going to grab the smaller brush this time. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, I just dried it also so I don't smear, and I'm going to draw my design a little bit more carefully than I did last time. And again, it's a good idea to draw some that are kind of on the edge. This makes it look like your pattern is actually repeating. Okay, so there's just one sample of how I do this simple pattern. And I might go back in when I'm really done, maybe with a pen to kind of define that square. Right. So I will also go back in and refine both of these other sketches, carefully fill them in, and I'll adjust my color palette to get rid of this red I decided I didn't need and the gray I decided I didn't need, and just keep with the colors I'm actually using. And then once I'm all done with that, and I have a nice presentation with all 3 finished, neatly painted patterns and my color palette, then I will put that into my PowerPoint. But for now, I'm going to show you how I might do this in Paint 3D, if that's what you prefer. So here I am in Paint 3D. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it. So I'm going to start with drawing. So I might all right, so let's I'm going to put my color palette over here. You know, neither of those are quite right. So if I click on that big one, I can get looking for that kind of light yellow. Okay, and of course I can also use my shapes. That'll probably look nicer. So I'll use my shapes, grab a light yellow here. Right, much better. Okay. I can use that stamp feature as well. Whoops. I do kind of prefer the color selector in Paint 3D. It's a little bit easier to find the colors I want. All right, so I'm going to call this my color palette. And now, so I can do this in a couple of ways. I can use, you know, the markers and the paint brushes, or I can use the 2D shapes, or both. So maybe I'll start with a circle and then switch to a marker. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, so obviously I'm keeping with my same theme that I did in Paint 3D, but this time, so if I've made one that I really like and I want to copy it, I can go to Select. Right, I can just draw a little box around it, right-click, copy. Now I can just copy that same one. I can rotate it. I can make it smaller or bigger. Right, and I can create a pattern that way. So that is the major benefit of Paint 3D, is that you can copy and paste to create a pattern from one drawing. So when you're done, again, you're going to put this into your PowerPoint in order to submit it. Thanks.